Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yes, sir. You're online, no? Yeah, good. Sir, John sir is also joining. Yeah. Yeah. Anthony, sir, shall we begin the session? You have to unmute, sir.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. I'm calling John actually. He's
Yeah,
restarting
please
the
call.
computer. There is some
Yeah.
conflict.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let him join, then we'll begin.
Just
yes,
a minute, ma'am. After he joins.
Sure.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Sure, sir.
Mm.
Yeah,
சொல்லுங்க
sir.
Ma'am, actually, this live event feature is very nice, but it's so costly, ma'am. Now, due to Corona, Microsoft has given us free.
Sir, we already have 198 attendees.
Oh,
I think
okay.
we have to, we have to begin soon. John sir is joining. Let him come here. We'll just wait.
Yes, ma'am. The thing is that the live event we have not explored yet, ma'am. That is why it took this much of time this time. Yeah.
No, but it is good, sir. We are trying this for the first time at VIT, and I hope it goes on well with God's blessings. Yes. Yeah.
Ma'am, ultimate aim is faculty has to use this software for online teaching without any trouble.
Yes,
Many faculty,
and it is very nice of you to. I'm just waiting for Professor John has
yes, ma'am.
Joined.
He said he's restarting his computer. Yeah, I will call.
But sir, shall we begin and he will join in between? Is that okay? Because it is 11:02.
Sir, ma'am, join the introductory session start பண்ண சொல்லிடலாமா எப்படி ma'am, he's joining, ma'am. He's joining.
Okay. All right. Okay, just for the knowledge of our attendees, which is increasing every second. We are just waiting for Professor John to. We are just waiting for Professor John to join us.
Now you are on live. Whatever you speak will be visible for participants.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Shall I begin, sir, or we'll wait for John, sir, because it is 11:03.
Yeah, yes. I don't know why he restarted.
Sir, with your permission, I think I will begin because you are going to speak first. So,
yes, ma'am.
Or sir, you want to? Maybe I will call John sir once, and then I will start because he was here with us. Sir, I think I will go ahead and begin the session. I'm unable to reach him. I'm sure he is trying to join us.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
A very good morning to all the faculty who have joined us. I see more than 250 attendees have already logged into this live session. We have arranged for this session because we are going to begin with online classes using MS Teams. And Professor Anthony Raj and Professor John Sushil, who are both very well versed with how to use MS Teams for online classes, they have kindly agreed to join us. Professor Anthony Raj has already joined me here, and Professor John, we were together, but somehow he's not joined this meeting, so I'm just hoping that he'll be able to join us. In the meantime, what we can do is we can begin the session. So I'll give you an introduction of how the flow of this session. It will be for 1.5 hours. Professor Anthony will be talking about the technical details of the flow of the session. Then Professor John will be talking about how to create teams and channels. Professor Anthony will then talk about attendance, how to record attendance and the issues related to attendance for your classes. Professor John will then speak about the screen recording, the whiteboard, how to download videos, how to share videos. Professor, all of this will take about 20 to 25 minutes. So the introduction, attendance, and other things are clear. After that, Anthony sir will begin to talk about how to create quizzes in MCQs. I had received several requests from faculty to have a session on that. So that will be about 25 minutes to 30 minutes, creating quizzes. After that, we will move on to the assignment and the rubrics. And in the end, last 10 to 15 minutes, we will have discussions about, oh, I'm happy Professor John has also joined us. So we will have discussion on the limitations of teams and those small problems that you encounter frequently and how to solve them. So I welcome both. I welcome to you, Professor Anthony Raj and Professor John Sushil. Everybody knows them, but I will still say it again. So Professor Anthony Raj is the Deputy Director of Software Development Cell at VIT Vellore. Professor John Sushil Pakhiaraj is an Assistant Professor in the Civil Engineering Department. Welcome, Professor Anthony and Professor John. Over to you, Professor Anthony.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Yeah,
good morning, sir.
Yeah, let me explain what are all the topics we are going to demonstrate today for the session. Actually, the main focus would be how are you going to use this MS Team for your upcoming online classes effectively. That is the ultimate aim. So we will start with the basic, how to create team and the channel. What are all the basic settings you must understand at the time of creating the channel, because when you handle the students, you must know what are all the configurations should be enabled and disabled. And some faculty members are feeling very difficult for adding a set of students into the team. So we have some solutions for that also. Then we will go for online meeting, how to schedule a meeting, how to conduct a meeting. During meeting, how will you capture the attendance for posting in VTAP? What are the solutions for that? And how to record your screen. You can use even whiteboard if you are using iPad or any kind of tablet. You can use stylus pen and whiteboard, which is available in MS Team for the live writing in manual mode. Then you can record the complete conversation of online classes. You can share with the students later. Also, you can share with your official higher authorities. So that also we can see the demonstration. Then we will see the main part of quiz, how to create the quiz in MS Team itself, and how to conduct during class or outside the class hours, quiz settings, how to conduct the polling, all kind of options we will go for in depth. If time permits, we will go for assignment. We have VTAP and Moodle already for creating and evaluating assignment. Anyway, MS Team also we can do it. We will cover everything. And we have class notebook that is very useful for even students also. So how to use those notebook we will discuss about in depth. I hope all of you would have received the email from Director ASC Indura ma'am, I think 5 minutes back, that PDF document contains a list of frequently asked questions relevant to our VIT online teaching environment that we compiled ourselves based on the feedback from faculty. Even we will update the document after this session is over, whatever the questions you are asking. So we will compile everything and we will create one more the detailed document and we will circulate among you. Professor John, can you start? Over to you. John?
Professor John, you have to unmute yourself. And in the meantime, I will just pass on this message. I have sent an email as shared with you by Professor Anthony, which contains frequently asked questions for MS Teams. So you can refer to that. And if you still have questions, you can post on the Q&A session, which Q&A tab, which is available in this live session. Yeah, over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, madam. I'm so sorry that my mic had been muted. So welcome, professors, all of you who are joining us in this session. We hope that we will be able to take you through some of the features which make Team a very good alternative. And we know that many of you have started to use Teams, so we may not be going too much into the very fundamental layout and what is Teams all about. we'll be most probably, we are only looking forward to sharing our experiences with team and what we probably feel as are the good habits or good practices which will make team as a very valuable asset in our online classes. So as Professor Anthony has shared with us a nice mind map which kind of takes us through the various aspects. We will first start our session with showing how to create a team. So before we go on, we'll just hope that it's something which all of us are going to find, I mean, like, as a very useful session. So creating a team, I've been handling this summer semester, and of course most of you have also had the previous winter semester also, in which you would have had teams. So let me quickly, madam, I request you to please share my screen. And I'm just sharing with all of us my screen. So, right.
I think, yeah. Anthony said you have to stop sharing your screen, so we can share.
Okay. So all of you should be able to see my screen where MS Teams is visible. So here we go. So this, yeah. Okay, this window, this is the window where we get to see all the teams which are present or which we have created or to which we have subscribed to. For example, in this particular one, I am showing you the current this semester natural disaster mitigation and management which I'm handling. So when you go, you will be able to see all the teams to which you have subscribed to. Now, one of the first things is, if suppose you have not created a team at all till now, it's very simple to create a team. Please go to join or create a team, and you just click it, and you can create a team. Now, one thing I have discovered, whenever I give a name for a team, I prefer to use a particular standard of a way by which we can identify exactly what is the team all about. So for example, I've got the course code, I've got the course title, the component. Maybe if you're having a lab session, you might prefer to keep it in a separate as a separate team, but we leave it to you, and the semester to which it belongs to, and of course the slot. I add the class number also, because when I do that, I get a more complete picture. So let us go back to see how the team has been created. So we simply go and give join or create a team. We create a team, and please use the class option. The other options we will as and when it really require, we can probably use it. But for our teaching learning processes, this class is what we need. So we can just give a what we'll call as faculty team session. I'm just making a new class, faculty team session. So, and then we just give next. So here when we come to next, what happens is we get to see some of the options, like where we add students. Probably I'd like to add somebody as a teacher. I know, like, there are more than one person as a teacher. So probably we can add Professor Anthony Raj and say that he's a teacher. And you can add all of your students also in this. I am probably taking the liberty of adding a couple of my colleagues who will oblige in this. And so please, it's nothing personal on this. They are just very good friends of mine, so I know that they won't mind it. And I also happen to be a student in VIT. I'm doing my PhD, so like, all of these are possible to add. So once we do this, we can get our teams. Now, probably, like, if we go a little further, I mean, like, this is the way by which we add teams. So in case you have any questions, you can just probably put it out in the Q&A, and we'll be very happy to see if we can help out with any of the questions. Already Professor Anthony has shared some of the very common questions which are asked. So in case there are any other questions, you are please welcome to ask them.
John, the very frequent, hello, can you hear me, John?
Yes, sir, please tell me, sir.
Many faculties are already asking. I have 60 students in my class. how
Okay.
to do bulk enrollment, because every time I have to type email ID or register number of the student, like what you did now. So is there any option to enroll in bulk mode of the students, 60 students or
Okay.
50 students?
Okay, that's an interesting question. And to be honest, the first time when I did it also, I actually had to type all the 60 students. But there is a easier way to do that. If you go to faculty teams, you will see that there is an option where I can actually get a team code. I can get a team code. So I simply go to manage the team. Okay. Now, for example, both of us are teachers over here. One way is to go and add manually the team members. The other one is you go to settings. I'll again go back. So here, if you see, let me go from the beginning. So these are all the teams. I go to faculty team session. I click the link over here where I get as the manage team. So these three buttons will usually give all the advanced what you call as the further settings. So I get it either on the right end. Okay, there again there are some, I mean sorry, this is the better way to go. Go here and give manage team, and then go to settings. The three buttons, manage team, settings. Once we go there, here we get a team code. Okay, so we can generate a team code, and this team code is whenever a student logs into his VIT email account, they can use this code. They can use this code. So I'll probably share this on the chat, and probably any of our friends who are there attending the session and who would probably like to see what happens, they can just join in. So I am just adding this to the chat. Anybody can just say join chat. So how, I mean, how will you be joining, or how will a student typically join? Maybe we'll just have a look at that also. So whenever you go to the Teams window, you can give this join or create team. So you can simply type this code over here and say join team. Of course, it will not allow me to join because I'm already part of the team. But in any case, this is how it works.
You mean either we can send VTOP message or some kind of group message to students with this code?
That's right. That's right. In fact, that will be a very good way to do it, because VTOP gives a way by which you can send message to all the students. Alternatively, I think we have the facility to take all the students' email IDs and probably send them a bulk welcome message. And maybe it may be a little out of place to say it, but Moodle also has that bulk message feature, so you can use any of the many techniques which is available to us here to send this message across to students.
John, recently some of the emails circulated among faculty members.
Yes.
We may use some kind of PowerShell script for doing bulk enrollment. Is it safe, or is there any problem with that?
Okay. So actually, the thing I think that was a very good point you have brought out. Partial is a double-edged sword. In case we do anything wrong, we are going to very likely disrupt a lot of things. First and foremost, your own settings are likely to get ruined, because many of the permissions are granular. So you cannot probably do more damage than what you are allowed to do. So if you get into partial, it's very likely that you are going to corrupt some of the settings which are related to you. And it is really not worth trying to use partial, basically, Professor, unless we are very, very thorough with it. But I strongly recommend against using partial, especially on VIT's infrastructure. Without the knowledge of the admin, using partial is it's better that we don't use it.
Okay, thank you.
So anyway, in any case, I think. I hope that this, Auntie, sir, do you feel any other things have to be taken up right now? I mean, like any other?
Yeah, I think it's clear, sir. You can move on. Yeah.
So yes. So probably so if anybody wants to join in that class and see how it's going to feel, please feel free to use this particular link and then move on. Right. So maybe I will go on. So what we have done just now is we just went into our teams, and then we gave the buttons, and then we gave manage teams, and we went to settings. So when we look at it, we have quite a few settings out here. So you can when you go through it, they are quite easy to understand. So do you want people to probably delete or restore a channel? Typically, you don't want students to be doing all this work, and allow members to create and update channels. So now probably we need to understand what is a channel. Now, when we look at the left side, we are seeing something called general. So general is the most typical channel. So earlier when I was handling the online classes, I started to create a channel for every date. So just by looking at this, you know that on 2020 June, on 25th day at 9 o'clock, I had conducted a class. So the entire class session and whatever was the chat in it, probably the form which I circulated to my students, and also the recording of that session, all of them are available here. So the next day what I did, everything is like kept in a nice package. But after about 10 or 15 sessions, I discovered that Teams doesn't allow you to create more channels. So then I went on to create only one channel. So channel is a logical division of my class. So you can divide a class in whichever way you want. Typically, if it goes beyond 15 or so, it will say, please do not share this many channels to the students. So let us first create a channel to understand what it is, because we are seeing the word channel in our settings. Now, when I go here, again to the three buttons, probably this is the main place which will come for every course. I'll give add channel, right? So please do not leave the team by mistake. I give add channel. When I go here,
John, sorry to interrupt. Can we assume like that in VIT, every theory syllabus, we have 8 modules.
Correct.
Similarly, laboratory, we have 6 to 10 assessment.
Yes.
So if I create a class as a team, so I can create 8 channels. So every channel is considered as a module. There I can conduct set of online classes, forums, everything.
True.
Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. That logical setting, whatever you'd like to do, is probably left best to you, because you know what works for your course. Maybe it may be a topic. So whatever you want, you do it. So probably I will create a channel within our own course. So here I'm going to add a channel where I'm going to say how to probably add a channel. So this is a channel with which you're working. Now, one of the important things is we can have a standard thing where everybody can access it or keep a very private group. But for now, let us just keep it as standard. Now, when I say automatically show this channel to everybody's channel list, if you have by any chance logged in or added yourself to this class, you'll find that this channel appears on your list. So I'm not sure if suppose we have had anybody add on. So let us just see who are the members right now. I'm just going to see the members of this, the people who are here on this team. As of now, just the 3 people who are already added are still here. So all these 3 people plus Professor Anthony will have this new channel reflected on their course. So because I have told that when I added the channel, please add all these members to this course. So in effect, what happens is we are adding a small logical division. It can be a single session of a class. It can be a group of ideas which are probably what we call, one concept which you would like to explain, and keep it as a channel. Or you can go on and even keep it for every month one channel, or that division is left up to you. Is it okay, Professor Anthony? Would you like to add something to this, please?
It's clear, sir. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Our
Great.
faculty members are posting queries. We will try to answer everything. I think even they will get clarified during the session itself. The pending queries we will answer at the end.
Okay. Okay. That's absolutely great. So in case you have any query which you feel we should take up now, you just let me know also. But maybe I'll just.
I have one more query. I have a class with 60 students. I'm creating the logical groups. Every 10 students will belong to one group. And every group I will give separate project review, assessment topics, and so on. So can we go for private channel within the team itself for this kind of activity?
Yes, Professor. In fact, that is what the private team is all about. So probably when we add a channel, I can say that project group 1. So we'll say that probably the video editing group, just to keep it very common. I'm just putting it like this. Now what we can do is we can probably say this as private. So when I say this group is private, I can add specific people to this team. So for example, I will not be able to add, for example, I mean, like, no, we just need to add the people who we want them to be as part of this team. Maybe I'm just adding you as the teacher again in this group. So it means that you will have the teachers right within this group, and the students who are working under you will be will just be working like, you know, like maybe Professor Simon and myself are the ones who will be working under you as students inside this group. So that means only we have access. If suppose probably Professor Manu tries to add in, I mean, like, you know, access this group, he will not be permitted to access, simply because he is, I mean, like, he is not given, I mean, like, he is not part of this private group. And again, you can see that there is a lock symbol which states that this is a private group. So if suppose we are conducting probably a review, for example, we are having TARP where we do it as a group activity, and so many other things, like even our capstone project. So I don't know if you see my capstone project also, I had a group for capstone project which I did. So for example, Alfresco, BIM, all of these were my groups, and you can probably, yes, use it in this way also to get only a, you know, like a target or focused group of people to have access to.
Yeah, Professor, can we assume like that? I want to create some smaller groups, so no need for any dedicated team or class for that. In team itself, already created team itself, I can go for private channel.
That's right. That's right. You're absolutely right. Okay. So you can just probably just go ahead and add these people into the group. So you're absolutely right in stating that, you know, if suppose it's possible to do, yes, and probably that is the right way forward also.
Yeah. Can you please explore the
Professor John, then what you are actually saying is that we should not increase the number of teams and channels when it is not required.
That's right.
Team can be one for one class. That's and right. Channels can be different for different teams within the class. Yes. Is that right? Or yes. You should limit the number of channels also?
Actually, the number of like, you know, you don't, I till now I have not seen a limit on the number of channels which I can create. But the number of channels which will reflect on a student's list probably is restricted. So what I'm doing is I found that I can keep adding the channels, but when I add more than 15 channels and say let all these students also log in. See, for example, we were having this particular thing. I mean, when I say this option, so let me just probably add a channel over here. So I'm just putting this as test channel, and when I give automatically show this on everybody's list, only about 15 channels can be given with this option. So usually what I'll have to do is I'll then have to go back to the list of channels and do a little bit of administrating, which I'll probably also show in a little while, like how to get over that problem.
Yeah, Professor, can you please explain or explore about the conversation area where we can
sure.
post message?
Sure,
yeah.
Sure. So this is probably the conversation area. Now, Professor Anthony and myself, both of us are here on this team. So let me say that hello, Professor Anthony. So I'm just adding one message. So it can be a good morning message to your class. It can be probably anything. So now, Professor Anthony, if you just come to this, you will also be able to reply to me. So he will also have a similar interface from which he can this one. So Professor Anthony, you have to go to how to add a channel, and inside that you will have the conversation menu. So you can probably just give me another message back, if you please.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is probably one fun way of engaging our students, because our students are so much into all the social media and other things. You can use this for sharing your information. And what we are doing currently is the plain text. You also have a rich text editor, so we can probably, like, you know, I can add a subject, the reference material. So actually it's not correct to type in bold. It's not correct etiquette. The reference material. So maybe we can share some. So we can this is a rich text editor. So, you know, you can do like a lot of stuff in this. So for example, I'm just typing good morning, and I can give, I can just make this as bold, italics, underline, whatever we want to do. Okay, and you can change also the text color, so nice warm color, and you can do YouTube. Okay, I know everybody know this, but anyway, I'm just adding this. Yeah. So now
Yeah,
when we
Professor,
add this,
now I got one more query. Yeah.
yes, please.
So when we send this kind of message, I hope this will be visible for all the students in my team. Am I right?
That's right. All
Now
the
I want
people.
to send one message for 1 or 2 students. Is there any way for doing it?
Okay. So in that case, I'll probably do @Antony Raj A. This will specifically be addressed to you. So this is I'm sorry, I'm not getting the correct technical term. Probably you can help me out with this.
It's I think mention.
Yes, it's called mention. So we can mention specific people also, so that it gives a heads up to them. But this message will be visible to everybody. But you can also send private message to specific people. That is also possible through this. Of course, you can't use this interface because this is a public chat area. You will have to probably go in, find that person, and send a message to him or her.
I would request, sir, I think with time we are at 11:30.
Okay.
Can we move to the attendance part, sir?
Yeah, John, can you move on quickly for the scheduled meeting so that I will continue the attendance part? Yeah.
Yes, so we can schedule a class in many ways. So for example, if suppose, let me say that we have got a special, like a dedicated idea, for example, a topic, a module or something like that. So, and you are wanting to give this in a channel, because if you see, when we are giving our material in a channel environment, the videos and whatever is the conversation is appearing in a straight line in that place. So what we can do is, we can go over here and then we can schedule a meeting. In fact, this is probably one of the best ways to do it. So we can meet now where immediately the meeting is set up. Otherwise, you can schedule a meeting where you can say, for example, A2 plus TA2 or whatever is your slot. And then you can say that, the required attendees, if I'm wanting to add somebody else, I can do it. Or if you see, automatically all the channel members have been added here. So automatically it will go to all of them, and you can set the meeting at any time. Maybe it is supposed to be around 3 p.m. So 3 p.m. till this one, and I want it to be 1 hour. So let us say 4 p.m. And location, please don't worry about location. You can just probably say, please attend the class. And this will get added to the calendar also automatically. So I can just say send. It will reach the students, and also the same will be available here. So can you see TA plus TA2 at 3 p.m. So this meeting will also happen there, because we are already on another meeting. It's not allowing me to go to that, but this will go to the students also. And you can probably use the join, and okay, there'll be a join link which you can use to join in. I hope it's okay, Professor.
Yeah, John, shall we move for our the private meeting window so that we can show the demo for how to handle attendance tracking? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So
shall I share my screen? Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I think I'll also have to share my screen in that case, right? Just a minute, sir.
Can you join our meeting we created for demo team in your JSP.net?
Okay, one minute. I'll just join up there, Professor. I'm sorry. I just 1 minute. I'm just going there for it. Right.
Yeah, before that, let me explain the practical
yes.
difficulty what faculty members are facing to update the attendance during online class session. I just want to give some reminder about MS Team. It is not developed by our VIT team. It is developed by Microsoft. So whatever any new features we would like to incorporate in Team, there is a Microsoft dedicated website, user voice forum. There we have to raise it. Then the developer team will consider for implementing in upcoming version. So similarly, we started this MS Team 1 month, I think May. May 1st onwards. That time there was no option for downloading attendance when we conduct online classes. Later we have given requested to development team and they have incorporated one feature. So during meeting there will be an icon. It means one option to download attendance. It means participants data. So when we download the Excel sheet, it will contain the name of the participant. It means student, when they joined, when they left. So by using name alone, you know very well in BTAP, in your class itself, there might be 2 or 3 names, students with a similar name. So by using name, we can't go for the unique model. We are very difficult for getting register number. So again, we have given a request to Microsoft team. I don't know whether they are going to accept it or not, but because they have universal policy worldwide, so they will consider privacy issues. There are so many factors. If they consider, they will implement the register number in Excel sheet. Because when we create user ID for even faculty and students, we have given first name as the full name of the student, the last name as the register number. That is what the team account also we created. But unfortunately, Microsoft is giving only the display name when we download the attendance sheet. But what we can do, John, already I created the meeting. You just, can you please join it?
I think John has. I'm sharing your screen, Anthony sir.
Yes,
do you want me to share the desktop?
Yes, ma'am. My screen should be shared. Yeah.
Anthony sir, I think I joined Anthony sir.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, sir. So what I want to convey here, by using the inbuilt feature for downloading attendance in MS Team may not be work for you for updating attendance through VTAP. In VTAP, either you need register number or at least email ID of the students. So email ID is somehow unique. If you try to get email ID, you can download VTAP workload and you can map with the email ID and you will get register number. But again, the question, how do I get the email ID of the students at the time of meeting or during meeting? So I will show you a quick demo. You can use some kind of dynamic polling, because this is what recommended and suggested by Dean Academics also. Whenever we conduct online meeting, in between any time of the meeting or class hours, we can send some dynamic polling. It means questions about the particular topic, so that it's not about mark. Students will select the options whatever they feel correct. So then all options will be recorded along with their email ID. That email ID can be used for updating attendance. I will quickly show you how to do that. And even in VTAP also, we are developing one mini interface, mini module before your semester starts, the July 13th. That module will be on live. If you simply copy paste set of email ID, you will get the register number, name, email ID, register number. So that you will simply copy the register number and you can use bulk post for posting attendance. Now let me quickly show you how to do the dynamic polling during the meeting. I hope all of you seeing my meeting window. So now myself and John is on the meeting. So whenever you conduct online meeting like that, you can do something like in a conversation. John, can
Sir.
you please stop the meeting? You can, because I am not getting the chat window.
Oh.
Yeah.
You want me to stop?
Wait, let me check. Let me check. Yeah, yes. It is there. Yeah, yes. Yeah, fine. See,
Okay.
when you move the cursor over the main screen, you will get the chart icon, hide or show conversation. Now I am in the conversation window. I hope all of you seeing the meeting chart. If you click the triple dot, the more actions, you will get forms. Now assume that the meeting is going on, class is going on lively, synchronously. You are teaching something, you are presenting, students are listening. So dynamically, in some point of time, you want to create this kind of polling. So create triple dot and go for forms. So I have some predefined question for saving time. This form only will be visible for you. Students will not see this form. Post the question. You should be ready with the question and answers before starting the session. What topics you are covering, accordingly you can prepare the polling. Yeah, I just created 2 questions. Next. Now the advantage of this dynamic polling, this will be embedded inside the chart window itself. So students need not to go for any other external browser, or it will not be redirected to any other window while attending the session itself. So they will be able to click any of the option and they will submit the vote. So only one thing you have to insist students, you have to attend the choice, then only attendance will be recorded. Now I submitted, so there is no mark for this one because this is the dynamic one, you can decide later, but clearly it will show the report who are all selected which option. So now you can ask all the students to post whenever you want to create this kind of dynamic polling. Once this is done, you can go to forms.microsoft.com in your web browser later after the class is over. You can go to forms.office.com, ensure that you are logged in with your V8 email ID for this page. And if I refresh the page, I hope I will get the dynamic form what I created now. John, can you please poll the question so that I will see the response? Yeah, it is coming here. So after the class is over, now only one response. If you click on that, you can find the response tab. There you can download the Excel sheet. I hope this is visible for everyone. Since only myself and John is there in meeting, I polled something, it is displayed. So what you have to do, all you need, simply copy this email ID. Either, see, there are two options here. You can go for VTAP workload and you just download the Excel file. That Excel file already contains email ID and register number mapped. So you can use some kind of Excel VLOOKUP. If you are on some Excel savvy, you can do that kind of things. But if you feel that that is very difficult, shortly we will provide the interface in VTAP. You have to simply copy this email ID and then paste in a text area like bulk upload what you are doing in VTAP, and that interface will provide you the register number of the concerned email IDs. So that number can be, yes, ma'am.
Anthony sir, I am getting some comments from participants on my WhatsApp that they are unable to see, they could not see how to conduct dynamic poll. And is it only for participants? Can you just show that?
Yes, ma'am, I will show once again. So when you are in meeting, that time only you can conduct dynamic polling. So you have to just move the cursor over the screen. I hope all of you see my window. Ma'am, my screen is visible?
No, sir. I think your screen is not visible at this time. Can you share once again? Then yes, I will send it to you.
Yes, ma'am, I will share. Oh, I thought it is shared already. Yeah.
It is not seen to the participants also. I have some faculty there sharing.
Let me check. Ma'am, is it visible now? My Google Chrome browser is showing team.
Yeah, now it is. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah. So now I am in meeting with John. This is on private team where we created for only demonstration. So you see this screen, main screen window, just move the cursor over the screen. So you will get the video, audio, screen sharing, triple dot, and then show conversation. Just click on this. Then you will get this kind of right side meeting chart window. In that meeting chart window, again, you can find triple dot. Just click on it. You can select Forms plugin. Ma'am, now is it visible for all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have checked it. I can see it. So I'm waiting for. Yes.
Yeah,
they can start.
Yeah, here you can poll the question. It means what is the question, answers, and then you can let me quickly create the question.
Sir, just wait for a second because for some people there is a lag. So just a few seconds and then you start, sir, please.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So you can type the question and then the choices you want to give for the polling and then click next. Even you may vote yourself. You can for testing. I just submitted option 2 and then send. So when you click send button, after that timing only that form dynamic polling will be visible for student. Until then only you will be able to see the pop-up window. You can create the quiz question and options, everything. So students will see only your screen. So now you can see here in the chart window, even for students also it will be visible like this. So they have to select any one of the option. You can notify now when polling is created based on the topic we discussed today. You can select the appropriate options according to the question. So student has to choose the particular option and they will submit the vote. Immediately that option will be recorded and you can see the percentage of responses.
Anthony sir, may I just show the people how it will look for a student?
Yes, sir. Please show the screen today morning what you conducted for the students. Can you please explore it? Yeah.
Yeah, but you have just now created a quiz. So I'm just sharing my screen, madam. Please show my screen to the people who are attending the webinar. So when you look at it, this is the second quiz. Which
1 minute. Shall I share your screen now,
yes,
Anthony
please,
sir?
No,
yes,
my
John's screen. Yeah.
So when you look at it, you'll be able to see the quiz which Anthony sir has just created. Test 1, option 1, and option 2. It can be anything. So I'm just clicking option 1 and I'm giving submit vote. So the moment I give option 1 and submit vote, it will automatically get updated here in the bottom.
John sir, your screen is will take a few seconds for participants to see. So sir, please just can you repeat?
Yes. So when you look at the screen which is presented in front of you, this is the view which the students get to see. So as a student, they'll be seeing the screen and very quickly they just need to choose a particular vote. For example, I chose first option 1 and now I'm just changing it to option 2. And when I give submit vote, you can see that the vote is getting updated in the bottom. So now probably Anthony sir, you can show how it will look like, how to get this information out out for the students. I'm stopping my screen sharing now, madam. So probably Anthony sir, you can just show how to get back to the forms and take this output.
Yes, sir. Ma'am, can you please share my screen? Yeah. Ma'am, my screen is visible for all of them. Yeah.
My forms. Yes, sir. I think maybe 1 or 2 seconds. We'll wait and then you begin, sir.
So I created 2 dynamic polling. All 2 polling responses are displayed over here. So now I am clicking test 1. So you can go to responses tab and then open in Excel. If you click on that, I think the Excel file will be downloaded in your local computer. You can save it for reference. Ma'am, my Excel screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes. So what I am recommending here, there are 2 options over here. One is you can download VTAB workload. VTAB workload, you can find a register number mapped with the email ID so that you can use VLOOKUP in Excel document to retrieve register number from the polling response. But if you feel that is so difficult and if you are not that kind of expert in manipulating Excel mathematical formula, shortly in VTAB, we will provide an interface for faculty members. You simply download this email ID and then paste it in the given VTAB interface window, submit it. VTAB will give you the register number for the particular email ID. So you can copy those register number and you can use bulk upload attendance option for posting attendance. I know this is the very complex process, not the simple solution, but it is not with us actually. We have given recommendation to team to provide register number whenever we download the meeting report or this kind of polling report. They are working on it, but I'm not sure whether they accepted our request or not. So meanwhile, this is the solution. And some of you may ask that when you copy and paste the email ID in VTAB, why can't you directly post the attendance? Why you are giving a register number? because all student email IDs are unique, and moreover we are using only VIT email ID. So directly you can post email ID for a bulk update. Of course, that is possible, but there are some practical issues. You know very well, students are migrating one program to another program after completing first year. That time email ID will be kept as unique, but register number will be updated. So if you copy the email ID for that kind of students, you may get the new number, but the new number may not be enrolled in a particular class. So the number confusion will be there. So what we are currently doing, we are only giving register number. We will find the solution for this kind of issues shortly. So once you copy pasted the email ID, we will try to give bulk upload for all faculty members. So that option we will try to implement. But time being, you can use these kind of features for posting bulk upload. I hope it is clear. John, can you quickly go for recording videos and how to download and sharing with others?
Yeah, I think, sir, John, sir, can I share your screen now? So we'll move on to the next session of next part of our session, downloading videos and screen recording.
Ma'am, I would like to clarify some of the queries related to this up to what we discussed based on the questions posted in QA. Some of the faculty member asked,
Sure.
my calendar is missing for creating scheduled meeting. It means they might have created team account themselves without contacting CTS office. What I recommend, they may contact Center for Technical Support, either Mohan Kumar sir or Gobi sir. You just send an email, they will enable the feature. If the calendar icon is missing, if you are not able to schedule. So related to this, one more faculty member asked, can we schedule a meeting for private channel? That option is disabled now. In private channel only you can go for live meeting. Moreover, you cannot even record the meeting what is going on in private part. What Microsoft is claiming, when you create the private channel, it is the privacy area. It should not be recorded. Only you can discuss with someone. So like that, they are thinking about privacy policies. So what we assume, it is completely different from their perspective. So when you do the private channel conversation, please be ensured that there will be no record option. You can't schedule anything. Only you can collaborate with your group member and you can conduct live meeting. So that is what my answer. And some of you asked how to set the background image. Now how I am using. So when you move the cursor over your screen window, you will find triple dot that is called more actions. There you can find for changing background image. Yeah, John, over to you. You can continue. Yeah, please.
John, sir, I have shared your screen. John, sir,
John,
unmute.
sir, can you hear us?
John, sir, you have to
Sorry,
unmute.
I was muted. I'm so sorry. Because usually when we keep our mic open, it causes disturbance. So I kept it closed. I'm so sorry. But anyway, I'll just take up the question, the answer which Anthony sir told a little further. So when you look at your screen, there are this more actions button. So you click on that and you will be able to see show background effect. So you can choose whichever background effect you like and apply it. So probably now you can see that my background has changed. So, and this happens to be my favorite background, so I'm just reverting back to that. And when you are going to conduct a session, you will again have what is called as the recording feature on your, when you give this 3 buttons. Now, one of the very good things is you can see that as I speak, a fairly good, what I call as closed caption is getting generated. This is also one very good value added feature. Currently, this meeting is being recorded. As you can see, the record button is there. And again, the closed caption is also being generated. So you can see these 2 icons. So when you run a meeting also, when you conduct a meeting also, you can probably do the same. Please go to the 3 buttons and then you'll be able to see one more option over here for recording. And this second,
John, sir, have you shared your screen? Anthony, sir, can you see John, sir's screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I am able to see.
Okay, this has to be also shared with the people who are participating in the meeting, madam, if you please.
Sorry, sir. What I do?
John?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think that live captions only for US English, right? That we have to insist them, because
That's right. That's
when we
right.
talk something in our native language during meeting, or our Indian English and all, the complete word will be, even you said madam, it is showing some other word here. So we have to
Oh,
be very careful. Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
So maybe yes, madam, but I think my screen, I don't know whether my screen is being shared with all the people.
That's what I'm having, because if I share your screen,
Yes.
what I'm seeing is mine and Anthony sir's picture on it. I
Ma'am,
want
for
your
me,
screen
it's
to be
showing
shared.
John's screen is on live. I think it's correct. Others will be able to see.
Correct,
See.
no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So actually, yeah, but because I'm not sure whether people are able to see my screen, madam. Yeah.
No, sir, I am receiving some feedback from my group of new faculty. They are saying that they can see your, they are not able to.
Okay. Now I think they'll be able to see the
Ma'am,
screen.
faculty
Sir,
comment.
once you share your screen once again, sir, John, sir, that will be nice.
Yes, please, madam.
Some of them given question, it is visible for them.
Oh, okay. That means.
Ma'am, it might be, I think, depending. We are dynamically changing the screen. It might be depending on the network speed of the participants.
Okay.
Maybe within 10 or 15 seconds, it will be reflected or updated in their screen.
Sure.
But we can continuously talk, John. We can,
Yeah.
even
Sure,
if it's
sure.
not displayed, we can discuss among ourselves. Yeah.
That's right. Anyway, so actually the key to, like recording, the key to creating closed caption, the key to showing the background effect is simply by going to these three dots and then choosing the appropriate action. So if you want to record a team meeting, so this is the way by which we are expected to do. So yeah. So I think more or less most of the way by which we can administer a class has been addressed. So if suppose you want to probably change the privilege of a student from being a student to a presenter, please go here and you'll be able to see that there will be some options, like you can make, since both of us, both Professor Anthony and myself here are what you call as presenters, we are not getting an option where you can make somebody as the presenter. But when you are having a class,
John, sorry to interrupt. I want to notify on reminder for all the faculty, because when we started using Team, when we create the meeting, by default the option was anyone can present. Later we have given feedback to CTS. Now when you create the meeting as a teacher, only you will be the presenter. All other students even cannot share the screen, or there are some limitations. So suppose you want to make some of the other students can also present, so you can follow this kind of procedure.
That's right. So, and one of the questions which was on the Q&A board was how to prevent a student from muting the teacher. That is a thing of the past. Only a presenter can mute or unmute somebody. So for example, if Indu madam thinks I'm talking too much, she can simply click against my name and say mute participant, or you can even kick out somebody out of the chat. So this is the
Yeah, John sir, I will just add my experience in this mute option, because in FOP we have used it very extensively. I think it's a great option. The person who is the organizer of the meeting can choose to click the mute all, and everybody except for the organizer will be muted. And after that, you can just give a general instruction to the class that whoever will speak will use it like a button of a mic in his or her hand. You turn on the microphone, speak, and immediately after that, turn off your microphone. That instruction works very well, and the class can go on with a nice discipline.
That's the problem, ma'am. All our faculty members, though, so they obeyed whatever instruction you have given. Now here there are two issues. One issue, what suppose if the student take over the control, if they are muting others, that is disabled now. Sometime even if you mute all, themselves they will enable again, they will intentionally create some background noise, they will interrupt the class. So even though you are giving, you should not unmute unless otherwise, if you want to communicate something, they will do something like that, because they are students. Maybe we can give this feedback to Microsoft team. If the teacher is muted, unless otherwise, if they are unmuted, they should not be able to do it. That kind of feature, like what we are doing in a webinar, should be there for teacher also. That is what many faculty members are asking.
That's a good option. So currently they can unmute by themselves, even if we have muted. If that option is given, then we can ask them to just raise their hand. So maybe we can, some will be creating a disturbance, but that raising hand is a nice option. Because even if you want to say how many of you feel like this and you want to count, so if 10 people have raised their hand, you can actually see the number 10 on your taskbar below. So that is one way of handling the situation. And if the mute button can be controlled only by the organizer, I think it's a useful thing to do in a classroom with students.
Yeah, John, please.
John,
John, can you show some recorded video for your class? How it is visible for students? How can you give the restriction? Whom can watch the video? Whom you can share within the VIT members?
Right. So
how to download? Because the main issue is faculty members are feeling that whenever we do some online meeting, it is recorded in cloud. Sometimes they want to download and keep it there in their local hard disk for auditing or proof purpose. Can you show how to do that?
Yeah. So basically, all of us have to be probably, we should remember that we should always use our VIT email ID whenever we are working for this. And so if you see it's in my jspakiraj@vit.ac.in. All your work is stored in office.com, and you just need to probably go to stream and check it up. Now let me go in a more organized way. Let me go back to my what I call as the class which we have been doing currently. So it is just that I'm handling a program called Natural Disaster Mitigation and Management, and probably let me just it's just a random thing which I am choosing. And if you see, this is the conversation which we had in that particular.
John, sorry to interrupt. One thing we want to inform to faculty member: the recording option will not be there at the time of creating meeting. You must enable the recording once you started the meeting. Sometime you may forget to start the recording. There is no option for by default recording should be enabled, something like that. So please ensure that you are using background effect and the recording is enabled, muted all. This kind of pre-configuration you are doing every class before starting the meeting. Please, John.
Thank you so much, Professor Antony. Now coming back here, so probably this was the so today also I had conducted a class, so let me just probably show you. So all of these classes have got recorded, and also I also tend to forget some of the classes. It's not that I'm perfect, but once you forget, it's like, it's you cannot do anything after that. But today I happen to remember. Now, when you record, so for example, when you're, as we told, you have to, during the meeting, you have to go to those 3 buttons and then give start recording. Now, this is a recording which has appeared, okay, which is done and it has got appeared. So now you can probably see that, this recording is available for all of us. And this was the class of the morning. And it actually takes about, when the load on the server is it's less than 5 minutes for it to appear. So yeah, that's me in the class. Now let us see what we have to do to process it or do some additional work. By default, the videos are available only to your students, but let us go and see how to do. Now please see here, I'm giving a view in Microsoft Stream, and actually it is opening in my Firefox. So because that is my default browser, just give me 1 minute, please. So, okay, let me just probably go back to Stream. I'll just go straight to Stream and hope I can get to that. So just a minute, we are just logging into the system. So it will go.
John, I think by default, whenever the recording is happening, the recording will be visible for the teacher and the students who are all belonging to the particular team. Am I right?
That's right.
So suppose I want to give the video for Registrar or Dean Academics. So is there any specific option for that particular email ID alone I can share?
Yes, sir. I just wish to show it to you, but my internet is not cooperating. It is a little slow, as you can see.
Maybe you can explain so that.
So maybe while my my connections trying to get to the place where where I would like to show it to come. So let me see, because usually it's a little difficult to search out here for me. Now look here. Yes, we have got it. So for example, all the videos are available over here. This is today's video. I'm going into that, and all the videos which you create will be there. So it's a very long list which will keep coming on. Now to answer the question on how to share it, if you see here, this is a very similar interface to YouTube and other video distributing channels. So now it is showing limited. It means that not all can view it. So what do we do? We need to go to the share option, and like you can click and send this link across. But when we send this link across, people will not be able to actually see it. So we need to give them permissions. So I just probably stop the video in the background. It's a little annoying. Just 1 minute, please. Yeah. So just excuse me for 1 minute. Let me just. Okay, there's a small background noise, so I'm not able to mute it. But anyway, let me come back to that. So when we come here, you will be able to see some more actions. Please go to the update video details. Okay, where you get to see
John,
a lot.
Can you
Sir?
maximize the browser window? Control plus.
Control plus. Okay. Oh, okay. Is this better now, sir?
Yeah, this is fine now. Yeah.
Right, great. So what happens is you will be able to see a tab called permissions. This permissions is what is going to make a difference. So probably I can give to channels. So now, for example, this channel is a within the stream channel created. So within stream, you will have to create a channel. Alternatively, you can go to groups. So you can give groups. So but the current thing is all the people in the group CLE 101, all my students can see the video, and I got only myself as the owner here. Okay. Now if I want to see, allow everybody to see, maybe you want to showcase the video, just click this, allow everybody in your company to view. When we say company, all the people who are in vit.ac.in and vitstudent.ac.in, only this group of people can watch it. On the other hand, you don't want everybody to watch it, then you will remove this permission. You can give it to special people, like for example, Anthony sir. So Anthony sir, your email ID, sir, please.
You are right. AANTHO. Yeah, you search it.
Okay. Now I will just give search. It comes. Now what is it that I want Anthony sir to do? I can make him a owner of the video, so he can also do the administrative task.
John,
yes, sir.
John, I have doubt here.
Yes.
Suppose I don't want to be a owner, I want to only view it. Is there any option?
It looks like that display option is not there, sir.
It means only owners can be added.
It looks like only owners can be added, or I can make everybody in the organization to view the video. So this option is also available.
What about the download option, sir? How can others upload your video?
Yeah. So now here there is this download video option. So you can, I'm just zooming in. So this download video option is there. So maybe if you see the, oops, sorry, I made it too small. Yeah. So
John, only teacher or owner can download the video, right?
That's right. Only the teacher or owner can this one. So you can download this video or delete this video. You can allow students to add comments, or you can disable that, and so on and so forth. So you can download the video here, and this is typically quite a big file. So I will most likely be stopping the download, but this is the way you do it. You just click download video. Just wait for a couple of seconds for the, I don't know, my net is very slow, but if you can see the video is getting downloaded in the bottom of the screen. But yeah, please excuse me, I'm canceling the download. And you can replace this video also.
I'm sorry, sir, but that was a nice way that you have shown how to download the videos, because we have only 20 minutes left. So,
Okay.
sir, can we proceed to creating the quizzes and multiple choice questions, assignment
Yes,
and
ma'am.
rubrics?
I'm sharing my screen, ma'am. Yeah.
Yes, so I'll just add one more thing. See, the transcript of the video is available, so you can very easily add a closed caption. So students, if they are going to watch your video, they can very easily have the closed captions also enabled, so they can listen to like your lecture even in a noisy place without much disturbance. So thank you so much, Anthony sir. Over to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Ma'am, I hope my screen is visible for all of them.
Yes, sir, I have put you on the live screen
Yeah.
and you can share your screen, sir.
Yes, I said.
Oh, you share.
Before
Okay,
that,
I'll
two
share
things
it.
I want to remind all the faculty members, because some of them might have used already Moodle. That platform is entirely different. Even we are going to cover shortly how to use Moodle also. So what we focus actually today, you are conducting online class. VIT has chosen MS Team. Whatever the features available in MS Team, we are trying to explore it. So some features may not be there already in chart window. Some of them asked how to pick the random question from the question bank. There is no concept of question bank in Microsoft Forms. So only you can create set of questions dynamically, or you can decide when the quiz should be conducted, whom should attend, and you can randomly shuffle it. So you can't create the question bank where set of questions are created. From there you can pull number of questions for conducting quiz. That features are not there till in Microsoft Team. But this is somehow very effective because you are conducting one meeting through MS Team. That time itself you want to conduct the quiz, or you want to use only MS Team for all the assignment and quiz or collecting forms response activity, you can do it. So these are all some limitations. Maybe in future Microsoft can consider for updating all the options. So let me start with creating and conducting quiz now. You must ensure that you are logged in with VIT ID forms.office.com. You see that in my top right corner, I am logged in with anthoniraj@v8.ac.in. So now you can find two options, new quiz and new form. So you must understand what is the difference between form and quiz. So if you are both are very similar, but when you create quiz, every question you have to give the mark and what is the correct answer. But when you create the form, you can create the question and set of options. There will be no points or marks or no correct answer. It is about collecting opinions from other. That is what form means. But quiz means you are going to conduct at some scheduled time period or during online meeting. So you will give 5 or 10 questions. Every questions will have 1 or 2 marks, and correct answers also might be there. Even multiple correct answers also might be there. So you have to create everything. So now you can create new quiz. So I already created one quiz. I will open that. I will create some of the questions for your demonstration. So the window will be looking like this. You can change the title, description, everything. Let me create one simple question now. So you will get add new button. I think it is there in my bottom of the browser window. Add new. When you create new quiz, you will get add new button. Just click on it. There are number of options. You can create multiple choice question, filling the blanks, or rating like best, worst, average. They may choose the date or something. Even you can find more. File upload and section ranking. There are many things. So now I am going for multiple choice. Sorry, multiple choice. So now you can find what is the question you want to create and options. Add the option 1, option 2. You cannot n number of options. There is no limit. Now you see here, whenever I move the cursor over the every option, I am getting 3 menus: delete, comment, and then one tick mark. The tick mark means this is the correct answer. If you just enable that one, I repeat again, whenever I move the cursor over every option, it shows delete, comment, and tick. Tick means is this correct answer or not. So this comment is nothing but when student is chosen this notebook, you may give some description. That is what the meaning of feedback or comment. You may delete anytime. That is what the delete the trash button means. Now I selected channel is the right answer, and you can see before the add new button there is a simple text area where you can give marks. Microsoft uses the term points, so you can give 2 marks or 3 points to 1 mark. I'm giving 1 mark. If it is multiple answers, it means one multiple choice question may contain more than one answer. You can choose something like that. So this question, there are two correct answers. Now I am removing this one. This is single multiple choice. And you have to note down required. This is very, very important, because if you skip this one, student may or may not attend the question, so system will not validate it. If you enable this one, student must attend this question, then only they will be allowed for the next one. Also, you can find some of the options. Let me show you. In triple dot, you can find drop down math and add branching. So shuffle options. This is also sometimes very useful when you give 4 or 5 options. If you are not chosen all the above, then you can use shuffle options. So the choices will be shuffled whenever the student open the quiz. Every student it will get shuffled, and in different place A, B, C, D will be shuffled. This math option I will quickly cover now. Okay, you can use mathematical formula. So form supports excellently. You can use LaTeX formula. You can use graphical interface and everything. So this is simple way for creating multiple choice question. I repeat again. So whenever you create add new, you will get choice. Click on it. You have to type the question you want to give, and the number of choices by pressing odd option. Whatever choices you want to make it as right one, simply move the cursor over the choice and then select correct answer, tick mark. And you have to specify the total points. This is where the quiz and forms are different. In form, there will be no points and there will be no the correct answer. Otherwise, forms and quizzes are similar, the same interface. And you should enable required, because in class we will always ensure that students must attend all the questions. Okay. Now I'm going to click add new. I'm going for true or false. You know very well, test message. You give some question. Say this is true, this is false. You decide which one is right and click the right answer. And you see the beauty of Microsoft, the AI algorithm. The previous question, whatever option you have selected, in previous question, I have given 1 point and required enabled. Okay. Now, when you create the next question, automatically the 1 point will be added by default, and this question will be enabled as mandatory. That is the beauty of this one. You can disable this also. Now I'm going to add some mathematical equation for your demonstration, because many math faculty members ask this one. Sample math question. You can even embed image also. You see, when you create the question, you can find one icon at the right side that is called image. Just click on it. You can upload any images from your computer or cloud. So upload the image. This is also possible. So quickly I will show you. Now I want to type one mathematical equation. Just click on the text box where you want to type. Go to the triple dot in bottom right corner. Select math. Now you can find the change in the font. When I click the cursor inside the text area, I will get the math editor. So this is one way you can write x plus y. Option 1. Option 2, sum of something like that. I'm going to show you one more demo, because this will be very useful for the mathematical faculty, even those who are doing research. So you know very well the LaTeX. In LaTeX, we use some standard equation for writing mathematical formula. If you know that LaTeX, you just do everything in LaTeX. Simply copy the equation, you paste it over here. See, you can observe clearly. This is the real the input, but it is converted as this mathematical equation. You can see like that. So I will show you one more demo. This is only for advanced user. I'm just showing you these are all the options available. So you can create something like this. So once you created set of questions, you see this particular quiz. I created 8 questions. This is the image based and some other normal questions. In top right corner, you can find triple dot. Just click on it. This is very, very important. Settings, how you are going to control the quiz attempt and the participants. So result automatically. Better if you are conducting quiz for students, you have to disable this. But if you want to, the quiz should be open whenever student completes, they may see the marks or points. You can enable this one, it's up to you. And the second one, who can fill out this form? Anyone with the link can respond. This is very dangerous. If the students are sharing the link to others, anyone can attend the quiz without your knowledge. So always you select only people in my organization can respond, and record name. This record name will record their name, email ID, which channel they belong to, everything, and one response per person. It means only one time they may attend the particular quiz. That is what we practice in our normal quiz also in V8 environment. And this is also very nice one. When you disable this accept response, even though they belong to your channel, students are belong to your channel, they will not be able to attend the quiz even one time also. So either you have to enable this one, or you set the start date and end date. So suppose you are conducting tomorrow 9 o'clock online class, 9:10 to 9:30, you can enable the quiz. Only that time period, even though students are having the link, they will be able to attend 9:10 to 9:30. That kind of start and end time you can set using this. You can customize many more things like this, send email, receipt, or custom response. So this is a simple way for setting the quiz actually. So as I told already earlier, there is no option for creating set of questions like question bank. From there you can pull X out of something. That is not possible with this MS Team option currently available.
Sir, can I put two questions from the participants, sir?
Yes, ma'am, please, ma'am.
Sir, one is, can we use quiz for dynamic polling? And second is, sir, there used to some caption was there live caption. So how to enable the live caption? Yeah.
Ma'am, it's like setting background. When the meeting is conducted, when they move the cursor over the screen window, they will get more action, triple dot. If they click triple dot, setting the background, enable the live captions, even turn off the camera, recording, all options will be there. When they click triple dot, that is called more actions. Okay. And similarly, for your first question, we can conduct quiz also dynamically. Let me show you how to do that. But I can't do it because I am currently on meeting. I will explain how to do that. So you can find in top right corner of my browser share button. You can just click on it. One link will be displayed for the particular quiz. Whenever you create a quiz, there will be a unique URL or address for the particular quiz. You just copy this. Like how we created dynamic polling, you just paste the link in the chat window. So when they click the link, it will open the browser and then they will be able to attend the quiz. This is one way. In another way, you want to do you want students to attend everything in MS Team itself. You can find one more option. This is called embed. I hope it is visible for all of you. iframe. If you copy this option, what will happen in chat window itself? Quiz will be opened. Even they are in meeting, they will be able to answer all the questions like how we created dynamic polling. So all options are available. So when you conduct a meeting also, dynamically you can create the quiz and you can conduct everything. Even you created quiz already, you go for meeting, you will find the forms. When you create the form, you will find, let me quickly show you how to do that. Already you created quiz, you are starting later. You can use the existing quiz also at the time of conducting class. In my team, there is an option called assignments tab. Ma'am, is it visible, my team window?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. So in team, you can find assignment window. You see here, create. The same process, create quiz or assignment. You can find from existing. It means you already created quiz using Microsoft Form. That can be linked over here. Now I created one quiz. I see which class I want to embed that particular existing quiz. So whatever quizzes already I created will be listed over here. Oh, sorry, I created assignment. Sorry. Oops. Oh, team is getting stuck. When we in meeting, when we try to show the demo, I think it's very slow. Yes, ma'am. It's getting stuck.
I think it's a great thing that you shared with us.
Let me explain orally. You can use existing form option for conducting quiz for already created quiz. You can dynamically create the quiz like polling, and you can share the embedded URL inside the chat window so that student will be able to attend the quiz in team itself. Otherwise, just share the URL, it will be redirected to the web browser, so student can answer. It's like open. See, everything is open. We can't monitor. So we have to set the challenging questions. So it should be open always.
Sir, last 5 minutes, sir. Can you share also quickly something about the assignments and rubrics,
yes,
sir?
I quickly I will show the assignment. There is a tab in left side of the team icon. You can find assignment. Create the class you want to create the assignment, and then select create. Go for assignment. Ma'am, is it visible?
Yes, sir. Very well.
Ma'am, for assignment, Moodle is the best. Even VTAP, we only support uploading of a PDF document. There is no evaluation. But anyway, this MS team also, we can create assignment. We can set the due date. You can evaluate the PDF or PPT or Word in team itself. You can give rubrics accordingly. You can evaluate the mark. And finally, everything can be exported with detailed report. Everything is possible. I will quickly give test assignment. Some instruction. This is the test. You can add any PDF file, because we will always ask faculty to post what is the question or exercise given for the particular assignment. Total points 10. Add rubric. This is very nice feature. Even this is not there in VTAP. We are not introduced yet. So for 10 mark, how are you going to evaluate a rubric? So I'm creating a new rubric. So abstract description. I'm quickly creating. You can find the matrix. It means the rubrics matrix: excellent, good, fair, or poor. So you can also give when the excellent should be selected. You can give some description over here, something like that. You can also specify the points. Instead of excellent, good, fair, or poor, you can give 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark, and 4 mark. Quickly, I will give abstract. A1, A2, A3, A4 attached. So I have given 100%. It means only one rubric I created. Complete mark. It means the 10 mark, full mark is allotted for the rubric. What you can do when you create in real time, you go for add rubric. You create 3 or 4 rubrics, whatever you want to split it. Abstract, implementation, result analysis, 2 marks, 3 marks, 5 marks. So every time, John, are you there? John?
John?
Yeah, I'm there, sir. I'm there. I'm
John,
sorry, I just had myself muted.
Can you please make it ready on PDF file so that when you upload, I will show how the evaluation interface looks like for faculty members. Yeah, I am just setting the due date tomorrow. I created an assignment. Now, since John is the member of this particular group, he will be able to upload the document. Then I will show you how to evaluate according to the rubrics I have given, and the PDF file also will be opened in team itself. John, can you do it please now?
Sir, yes, I will just do that, sir. I'm just trying to see a smaller PDF file so that it will be handy. So, okay, just 1 minute, please. Okay, I'm just upload. Yeah, I'm just
John, it's in my demo class.
Yes, I'm just going back to your demo class. Probably, madam, you can share my screen so that people know what the students are expected to do. So here
yes,
I'm
sharing your screen.
Screen with all. Okay, now coming to what you call as the teams. So you can. I'm just going to the team which sorry. I'm just going to demo class, so you can see that there's a thing which I have to do. So sir has given me an assignment. I just go to assignment and I'm going to add my work. So it gives me the option to upload a file. Let me just upload a file. I go to upload from this device and I go to download. I look for this file called quick quick.pdf, and this is a smaller file, so for that reason I'm just doing it. Right now I have uploaded the file. I have to give turn in. Now once I give turn in, it is going to go to professor's screen. I'm stopping the sharing of my screen. Anthony sir, you please take over.
Yes, sir. I'm sharing my.
So shall I share Anthony sir's screen now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yeah, I got one submission now. If I click on the John Susil name, so this is the interface how the faculty can evaluate the document. So you can give feedback in document itself, and you can see the rubric. You can give the mark, final points also you can award.
You can go to Excel. I mean, like you can download the results as an Excel sheet.
Yeah, that I will show you now. Yeah, you can find export to Excel. So the complete the rubric data and the student information along with marks can be exported. And again, there is a problem. Please remember, this Excel file will contain only the email ID. Let me show you. So you have to map with the register number. That is what I told in Vita. We will shortly provide. When you upload the email ID, we will give you the Excel sheet with the register number of those email ID.
Excellent, sir. Sir, this is amazing the way you have explained. One last agenda of our talk today, sir.
Yes,
Any
ma'am.
limitations of Teams?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Let me open that. Ma'am, we covered everything actually during demo itself. I think when we create the team, you can't add the bulk enrollment of students. Either you can send the invitation with secret code, or one by one you have to add. Please do not try any kind of scripting that may lead to even the data corruption or some kind of illegal things. And then any report if you download in team, you will not be able to find the register number. Only email ID is followed in team convention, but email ID will be VAT registered email ID that can be mapped with our Vita workload data. So you can easily get the register number of those email ID. And many of them are asked random question pickup. There is no concept of question bank. You can directly create the quiz. That quiz, you can shuffle the questions and answer, and you can conduct at any point of time. And you can share the link in class itself, or you can conduct in scheduled timing. And one more question many faculty members already asked, starting and ending of the meeting, because you created one scheduled meeting tomorrow morning 9 o'clock, 8:50 itself, one or two students will start the meeting. So that is happening. Even the reverse case, you completed the meeting at 9:50 because 50 minutes class, you left from the meeting, but two or three students still they are in the meeting, they will be discussing something. So these are all the limitations of, I don't know what Microsoft is thinking about that. They are thinking globally. When the team is there, anyone can join it anytime. So that kind of environment they have built up. But in class environment, it is completely different. Teacher must have the full control. We have already given the feedback. So time being, you must insist or inform to the students not to initiate the meeting. Only teacher has to start the meeting. Then all students can join. Similarly, you must ensure that all students are left out, then you close the meeting. So these are all simple solutions. Yeah, John.
So can
please.
I just add a couple of things? So even if suppose a student adds a meeting, you'll find that they will not be having the right to become the presenter because they're not.
That's not the problem, but two or three students will be talking unnecessarily.
Yes.
So that kind of the video and audio is enabled always for any participants. That will create unnecessary problem for teachers.
Yes.
Even sometime you left the meeting after the class, two or three students will be there in meeting, still the recording will be happening. Even one participant is there in the meeting, the recording will be keep on recording all the video activity. So it may lead to some other the ethical issues. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but in any case, you can, if once the meeting is over, you can still remove all the participants from that particular meeting. So that is one option.
That's what I said. You must ensure that all students are left from the meeting. Then you can close the meeting. If you left at the beginning, some students may be there after you. They will do some kind of silly things.
Yeah, that is still a little bit of a problem which you could have. But earlier, before the feature where the teacher was, I mean, like students who could also be presenters, they could even prevent the teacher from entering into the meeting. But now,
John,
thankfully, that
John,
is not there.
one more main
So-
point regarding mobile app of Team. Even Team can be used in your Android or iOS mobile. But if you are a teacher, please do not use mobile phone. You cannot use the full features of Team if you are using mobile app. If you are a participant like how we are doing and you are attending, this time you can use simply mobile phone for all kind of activity. So simply saying, if you are a teacher, always recommended go for desktop app dedicated available for Microsoft Teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, shall we move towards the closing of the session?
Yes, ma'am.
Because
Any
it is
other
12.
specific questions, ma'am? Did you note down or shall we close now? Yeah.
Yes, I think, sir, I have to, on behalf of all the participants, we had about 350 participants who attended this session, and all the faculty who attended. I am thankful that you joined us. It has really motivated us. It was the first live session that we tried using MS Teams at VIT. I express on behalf of all the participants and on behalf of Academic Staff College, I express my thanks to Professor Anthony Raj and Professor John Sushil Pakyaraj. You have enlightened all of us and helped solve so many queries. I pass on the message to all the faculty once again that I have shared a FAQ that was prepared by Sir, and I have shared it with all of you. So frequently asked questions. Also, we have made a note of the questions that you have posed today in the FAQ session. And what Anthony Sir has said is that based on the questions that you have posed during this session, we will again prepare a revised FAQ and which will be shared with all of you. So I wish that all of you have a very nice beginning to the online classes in the coming fall. Thank you so much, Anthony Sir and John Sushil Sir. And sir, my questions are to you. Many faculty have asked if this can be shared, the recording. So now you please help me, sir. The recording was done all throughout. How to save it?
Ma'am, it is by default it is recorded and will be available in cloud. Maybe by tonight or tomorrow morning we will upload in some of the mode. We will share the link to all faculty member. Even we are not covered some of the topic which was already mentioned like whiteboard, class notebook. Due to time limitation, I will try to give everything in FAQ, ma'am, with screenshots. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, thanks a lot, sir, on behalf of all of us. Many thanks for your time and your sharing of your knowledge, sir. Anthony, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.